Hi all, welcome to this Player of the Month December trading tips and squad routes video where I'm going to cover all the potential routes that may be covered for Player of the Month for all the potential nominees, mainly because there could be an outside shot that could be featured for this. So if you can smash the likes, be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter at GSLegend. All the links are down below for playlists on the channel and social media links as always. So we've got about 7 players to cover and plenty of routes all told, about nearly 20 routes all told, so well and truly covered for Player of the Month. So the likely winner will be Ibrahimovic, Lallana or Azpi, but with outside shouts of Alexis Sanchez due to his overall form for the month, Dele Alli and Christian Eriksen. They're all really good shouts, to be honest. But the nominees should be the 7 players on screen of Courtois, Azpi, Eriksen, Lallana, Dele Alli, Alexis Sanchez and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. With the stats overall, Azpi was 4 goals, 4 clean sheets and 1 assist. Christian Eriksen 4 goals and 2 assists. Adam Lallana 4 goals, 2 assists, 1 man of the match. Ibra was 5 goals and 3 assists. Alexis Sanchez 4 goals, 4 assists and 1 man of the match. And Dele Alli was 5 goals, even though it has been rumoured on the official site to have 5 goals for Dele Alli and 2 assists, so I'm not 100% sure. However, I would still say Ibra, Lallana or Azpi should win Player of the Month. So first off, Ibra's route for a BPL side will either be an 85 or an 86 rated squad. I will show the 85 route as well, just to cover your back. But the 86 route should cover 2 special cards. I'm hoping they don't just make it informed, just because the BPL informed especially will just rocket in value. Harry Kane especially and Gylfi Sigurdsson will be 2 informs that probably will experience a very massive price hike. Harry Kane at the time of the video is roughly going for 70k and Gylfi Sigurdsson going for around 45 to 50k. In terms of the route, you're probably looking at going the good old 2 86s, then plenty 85s and then covering with an 82, but you can also throw in 3 86s and 4 86s and plenty 84s and 82s to balance it out. So 200 to 300k is what this team may cost you, but don't worry too much about that just now. His Sweden national team, however, might be a cheap but could also be a very expensive route. In terms of how this should roughly go just now, I fancy that this will be roughly looking at a 81 rated squad. I honest to God hope they don't make you have to use up an Ibra to do this. I think for what I've done so far, the route can be done without Ibrahimovic. You just hope and pray if you've got Antonsen. I'm not sure if that card could become valuable in this SBC if it was to happen, but there's plenty of cards you can consider, like informed, like Toivonen, Augustinsson, Godos and Jonsson, and also Horgota for this week. But 80 rated could be the overall, and 2 to 400k depending if Ibra is involved, and second in form Forsberg because he's expensive. The Scandinavia route, however, is an option they may consider for a sneaky route. Depending how they do this, they might just make it Denmark, Norway and Sweden, but they might also throw in Iceland, just because that's not, it's nearly there but it's not really, it's just kind of Denmark, Norway and Sweden that really officially counts for Scandinavia. But it could be 11 players from the region. 2 special cards would be a minimum, I would imagine, just to kind of boost it up a little bit. 80 overall, more than realistic, and 100 to 200k is what this would cost. You'd have players like Schmeichel, Vent, Vestergaard, Nordtveit, Eriksson, Jorgensen, Krondeli, Vass. You'd be well covered, but in terms of how they do it, I'm not 100% sure, but this could be the sneaky route that they may opt for Ibra. Past route, they may go all his teams like Ajax, Malmo, Inter, AC, Juventus and Barcelona, or they may just focus on set regions. Like, my assumption is that they may go like an Italian route, for example, and in this instance I would say 2 from Juventus, 2 from Inter Milan and 2 from AC Milan. In terms of building this squad, it would be an 85 rated squad, just to make it really difficult, and 2 informs would probably be very likely. 87 Icardi is very useful, and 84 Donnarumma. Both collectively cost you around 85 to 90k, so you're not spending too great a deal. But in terms of the route, like Khedira, Pjanic, João Mario, Evra are kind of the players that you would require. Then a present route would probably be a BPL squad is what you'd have to build, and I would assume the team will probably need 3 Man United players. Best 3 looking at it would be Schweinsteiger, Juan Mata and Mkhitaryan. You could also look at Rooney as well, but I think going this kind of way might work a little bit better and also gets you the 85 rated squad. In terms of how else you can build this, 2 special cards would be required. Kane and Sigurdsson yet again is kind of being likely 2 that could be handy just due to their overalls and their costs. That's kind of the main reason why I'll keep featuring them in all the BPL routes, just due to their usefulness. And if you've got an 86 and 84 for their costs compared to the other informed, then it's kind of useful in essence, I feel. Then a 2 league hybrid route, tapping into his Serie A and also BBVA routes, as it were. They may go with the option of two special cards in the form of like Boga and Dzeko in this instance, or also you could consider golden for like Bernardeschi, who's quite useful as well. He's quite cheap still just now, but time will tell how much he may go up to depending on the player of the month requirements. But this squad's quite self-explanatory, like All Black, Alexandro, Miranda, Godin, Juanfran, Koke, Vidal, Banega, so you're well covered. And a silver inform is in solely because he currently goes for around 8 to 10k, and he's just as cheap to have on top of like a normal gold card that could prove quite expensive, especially if it's like an 84, 85, maybe even an 86. Then the BPL 85 rated squad route, however, a bit easier to build in terms of what you'd require, and it's a bit cheaper. The route I would go for this would be the 2 85s, 8 84s and 1 81. 81 being an inform, one of the 84s being an inform, and that would practically keep you covered. In terms of cost just now, probably about 150 200k, and you wouldn't have to worry too much about this. I would say personally, the 85 route might happen for everyone else, but I think 85 or 86 is most likely for Ibra. Then his origins, however, is where this could catch everybody out if you're not prepared. He is of Bosnian Croatian descent, so I think it's his mum's Bosnian and his father's Croatian or something like that. I might be wrong. I did do quite a bit of research on Ibra just to kind of dig down, see where they could go, and this is a very likely route. Probably 2 Bosnians, 2 Croatians is minimum, and you're most likely going to build this squad into a Serie A, Calcio A and Liga squad, so you'd kind of have one side being your kind of Croatians and Bosnians, but the back 4 is kind of what I've noticed will be all BBVA and Rakitic kind of being the key in all of this, and same with Ferrer, Schlacko in at right back, and you'd practically be able to build an 85 rate squad quite easily. It's not too expensive, and maybe 1 or 2 special cards is what you would need required, Dzeko and Brozovic in this case. Now for the England routes to cover for Dele Alli and Adam Lallana, 84 rate squad is kind of most likely, and to be honest, an 84 is not exactly difficult, and especially if you've got to get a couple in forms. Wilfried Zaha and Harry Kane are the 2 examples I've gone with. You could also throw in Jamie Vardy, but I think no one wants to sacrifice a Jamie Vardy. You could also get an Adam Lallana as well, the inform as well, if you've got him from any of the SBCs or Team of the Weeks or whatever previously. If you've packed them, then you're laughing. But 84, it would be an 85 and an extreme push, but an 84 is probably what you're looking at, so ignore the 85 and it's most likely going to be an 84 at the very maximum. In terms of Adam Lallana, his past, because obviously he's probably the second most likely player, 84 rated squad for his past of Bournemouth and Southampton, 2 players from either team. It's not too difficult. Best 2 to buy are Van Dijk and Fonte for Southampton due to their overalls, and Wilshere and Gradle for Bournemouth. You could also consider Buffal for Southampton, and that kind of covers your back a little bit. But 80 to 150k is what this would cost. If you had to get a special card, then I'd only assume one. I don't think they're going to go too overkill with it. Hopefully we don't have to worry too much on special cards. But keep the best option in this instance is Perchek will probably be a very popular card if it's an 84 rated squad. 85s might be as well. In terms of his present, most likely tap into Liverpool. 2 Liverpool players most likely, it's probably a minimum. They might make it free, but I hope they don't, because then it just kind of kills a bit the market a little bit on Liverpool players. Klein and Sturridge were the 2 I've opted for just due to their overalls. And we've thrown in Czech again just to give us a high enough overall, and same for Dimitri Payet. Sturridge, handy being an 84, and also he'd be packed for me, so he might have an increased value for Player of the Month. Jermaine Defoe, I would imagine, would be very useful in form to have in this instance, and probably the only one you would require, so don't have to worry too much on that instance if you had a BPL in form. Then for Christian Eriksen's Danish roots, this route probably is pushing so many different barriers. I would imagine 81 is what you're most likely looking at. I hope they don't go too high. I think the ultimate highest it can go to is 83, 84, but that requires the legends, so it would be most likely an 81, 82 at the very push for this squad. You might need special cards, so have Inform Braithwaite or Inform Jorgensen kind of cover your back, and you'll be able to build a squad with relative ease, and it won't cost you too much. And Eriksen's past, however, this is where it could get interesting. I would say they're going to tap into Ajax quite heavily, and this is where you're going to need 3 Ajax players. I think they're going to make it kind of a set minimum, because I feel if they make it 1 or 2, then it's quite easy to do. And what you would do is you've got to go 3 Ajax players either way to kind of build this squad, I've noticed. And it's Sean, Bertrand Traore, and Amin Younes is who you need, and the best way to build is have Gundogan and Eriksen at left and right centre mid, if they were to go that way, but who knows what kind of formation they would put in. But this would be a route I would kind of consider, and it would be very interesting to see how they put it together. It's not too difficult, not too expensive, even with 1 special card thrown in the squad. Eriksen's present would tap into Tottenham, of course. The best way is probably looking at 2 Tottenham players, 1 special card. Current cost 100k would probably cost to build the squad, unless everyone suddenly goes nuts on prices. The 2 players I've opted for Tottenham were Alderweireld and Kane, but Vertonghen would probably do as a more of an able deputy in place. There's plenty of other players as well you could throw in. You could probably get away with Nkudu, and you'd be well truly sorted. And even Son, for example, his inform might prove useful depending on however they were to do the requirements for Eriksen. Then Alexis Sanchez, obviously he isn't the most likely, but we've still got to cover him. And his Chilean roots, I honestly hope they do not make this have his national team, like his normal card in, because it's going to kill it. But 1 or 2 special cards, Castillo and Orellana are the 2 most likely, and you can throw in Medel in at centre back. He plays centre back for Chile. This team would cost you around 150, 200k. Orellana is like 30k, Castillo's about 15, 20. Sanchez himself nearly 100k, so you're paying an arm and a leg for the team just from 3 players. It's kind of insane. Touching on Alexis' past, Colo and Udinese, I have to think the team there for a minute, he played for, and in all honesty it really cost you a great deal to get these guys just now. Like you've got Valdez, you can easily build the team to 100k, and you can build it up to an 84 rate squad without any difficulty. Best way to go about is kind of going like a Chilean route, and it's handy when you've got Danilo and Miranda kind of being Brazilian, and you kind of go like Willian and Oscar for BPL, just to kind of give you the Brazilian and BPL links that kind of get you into the squad, as it were. Now obviously his present would probably tap into Arsenal. Now how they do this would be difficult bit, because I think they could touch into future fixtures as well. Same with a lot of the other squad routes, they might go like present and future. One Arsenal player as a minimum, might push it to 2 or 3. In terms of how the squad built, it's an 85 rated squad, and the biggest beneficiaries are Company, Czech and Payet. And if you had an informed Cliffy Sigurdsson, drop him down to centre mid and you'd get the squad. Looking at the squad as a whole, I don't even think you even need a position change on the squad to get you 100 chem, because Sigurdsson would be enough loyalty, I think. Not sure. Then Azpi for the nation, when you go and build his squad route, 84 is very likely. They might push it to an 85, but I hope they don't, because it just kind of puts it to overkill. 442, maybe even 433. In terms of how you build this, I would say you're looking at this kind of basis where you've got 86s and several amounts to kind of cover your back, but tons of 84s, and Jose Gayet, who's at low rated 80. He's also pretty cheap, and your inform would probably be looking at Aspas and Ego Falke, so you're well covered for that squad route. Then the pass for Azpilicueta, he used to play for Osasuna and Marseille. The way you would build this, it's actually very easy, and it's also quite fun. You rely on Fabregas for a right centre mid, or right centre defensive mid, depending on how they did the formation, and Lassana Diarra as your left defensive mid. You then put Gamero up front to give you a French BBVA linked to Leon up top, and you've practically sorted. You wouldn't have to worry too much about this. This is a very easy 84 rated squad. You just need Company and Czech, but it's a lot of sacrifice if you're having to use Czech and Company quite often. It can get quite burdensome having to have 3 or 4 of the one player, so keep that in mind when you build it. And the very last route that we're going to cover is his present. Might touch into future fixtures as well. 2 Chelsea players minimum. I've used Azpilicueta and Terry for this. Not too many high rated options, plenty 85s, several 86s, and you're well and truly covered. And it still makes an 85 rated squad. I'm just delighted how easy it is, and it's not too expensive. Coleman, Lallana, Kane and M. Kobani aren't too expensive, but all in all you've got yourself well and truly covered for Azpilicueta's last route. So all in all, lots and lots of routes covered for team for player of the month. Hopefully you find this really useful. I've absolutely been grinding this pretty hard. Let me know in the comments down below who you fancy for player of the month, or smash the like, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter, G is a legend, and I will catch you all later.